Whoa.
Recording live from count them three locations.
This is Past the Rock.
I am Patrick. I forgot to say that last week. And as always, I'm joined by two great men. Caesar, aka Riffraff Game Show H, LC.
Host. Game show host. At any point during this show, I will throw random riffraff lyrics at Patrick to complete.
It's not a bad bit. And also Jacob, aka Bethke.
Yeah, and I'm excited shouting out all of our listeners, including Peter Thiel or any of his subsidiaries. Like, everyone's freaking out. I'm thinking baseline. At least we know if no one's listening to us, the government's listening to us, guys. That's your positive spin for the day.
That's right. We have an audience.
I do like to just type random things into Google from time to time, just so my file's interesting later when it gets read back to me.
Yeah, no, I keep them on their toes. Maybe help them learn some things every now and again. It's beautiful.
All right. Well, we're going to shake things up a little bit in terms of how we normally order stuff, because I honestly think the biggest news should go first, and that news is the NBA Finals. But that might not actually be where we're starting. But it's the NBA Finals and it's basketball, which means it's time for me to move Jacob into the center position.
Ooh, need attraction. All right. Yeah, dude, we got to kill people off first. Dearly departed, got the skull on the shirt. We'll go gone fishing, as our maybe dearly departed instead the NBA guys would say. The Timberwolves, they were pretty much dead, I think, by the last time we were talking. I think they were dying out as we were talking.
They've been dead since they were created.
If I could summarize just this, yes, there's a lot of bad in the history, but if I could just summarize this series in one way, I would say this was an atrocious IQ team defense or offensively. Maybe defensively too, but offensively, importantly, it was just like all the bad decision making you can make, like all of it. So good luck fixing that.
So even though I was muted, y'all could hear that.
Yeah,
100%,
well, it was fine when it was just wrinkling, but when it went brrr, then it was
I muted it.
nothing we could
At
do.
first, I thought you were throwing like a sound effect, but
can't.
then it prolonged, and I was like, oh.
I don't think I can leave that in there.
That is what Tom Thibodeau's phone line sounded like when he got the call that he's fired because the Knicks lost Game 6. Did that help us get back on track?
Yeah. So were you done? Were you
Yeah,
done
let's
burying
talk
the
about the
Wolves?
Wolves. Yeah, let's talk about they suck at
That's where we were.
Yeah, there's no IQ. They said low IQ. There's a million ways to say it, but this was a lot of bad offense. Congratulations. The New York Knicks, terrible defensive effort. Maybe Karl Anthony Towns most to blame. Sad because he had one of his best games ever in this series as well. A lot of bad offense, and I think we probably know who everyone conspired to blame in this situation, or in my opinion, actually is to blame. Tom Thibodeau. This is just a part of his nature. It is. Tom Thibodeau, rotation-wise, was annoying for waiting to the playoffs to get into his rotation.
And not until like Game 5 of this series specifically.
Yeah, and maybe you could even nitpick with those, but like, I'm not disagreeing in any of that.
Which means like the one game where more guys got minutes. Which, maybe they were going to win that game anyways, but
I just think that we were recognizing a pattern of shortcomings in Tom Thibodeau. We see it plenty in football coaches, right? He's a defensive coordinator.
And we'll have some. This is a slight tease to some Stars talk later. So
yeah, there is a lot of defensive stuff about Tom Thibodeau that you love. You love the way he coaches people in ways. At the same time, I think offensively we've seen a track record of teams that basically rely on superhero offense to score enough points.
Well, I think it's even more basic of just you have to use your, like, you can't just overplay your starters all the time because by the end of the year, they're not going to be able to be as good as they are.
Yeah, but I still think you go down to rotation. So, like, yes, I agree with this point. I just think ultimately when you watch the Knicks, there is a lot of standing around while Carl and Jalen try
Yeah,
to
because
figure it out.
they've been running all year without getting a break.
I mean, yeah, there's a part of that, but again, I don't think this would change no matter what. I mean, Jeff Teague was going viral again for roasting him. This isn't anything new. Go back to the offense that they had in Chicago. It was fine. They put it together decently, but it was Derrick Rose and Carlos Boozer was a great role player for him because of what Derrick could do. They, eventually would get guys in that could shoot. They would get guys in that could also be good point guards when Derrick wasn't playing, whatever it is. But ultimately, they needed Derrick Rose to offensively deadlift them all the time. And even though, yes, they had tough teams to go across in that timeline, it's still part of what they were. And I think that still was a part of the problem when Jimmy was carrying them with the Wolves, especially with Carl being as talented as he is offensively. And now it's definitely a problem with Carl, grown-up Carl, knowing how good he is offensively, and Jalen Brunson having earned as much of a reputation as he has offensively. It's fine, but it's like, I need OG Anunoby in the game flowing. I need Mikal Bridges in the game flowing. Josh Hart is not a good offensive player for the most part, but his rebounding is important. You can utilize that. Mitchell Robinson, similar issue where there's a lot of limitations, but he's super useful in enough ways. Karl Anthony Towns I think is mostly the,
team actually is a full-on team that beat them.
Yeah, I mean, now the teams that they beat or that will be representing the funniest NBA finals in a while.
Since
people.
San Antonio, New Jersey?
Yeah, probably. From a rating standpoint, people are
San
already
Antonio,
going
Detroit?
down. Because I think that one still holds the record, unfortunately. The
The
quadruple
lowest
double
rating?
series.
Yeah, it
I
is.
think that's
Absolutely.
still, and probably always will for just a lot of reasons.
It'd be tough. We have so many more people around now.
That's true. There was a lot of reasons for people to be tuned out of the NBA at that point. There was a lot of that stuff. So
The ring still counts.
the jokes are the Sundown Town finals. The jokes are this is happening before Cooper Flag goes to the Dallas Mavericks at
Can
one.
I ask what Sundown Town means?
Oh, that's an unfortunate thing for me to have to teach you. But Sundown Town would be reference to like a map that was given out to Black folks in old America to safely navigate the American South, especially.
Oh, that makes sense.
I'm pretty sure the entire one. Yeah, because we're counting Indianapolis in this. So yeah, this would have been throughout
that term.
Yeah. So essentially, you needed to, be in.
When I hear the term sundown, I'm thinking Alzheimer's, dementia.
Yeah, no, and I will say this is one of those things with NBA Twitter where I think the jokes are being made just a little bit too much by a little too many young people, or maybe the right demographics are making the jokes, but then we're echoing them.
The wrong ones are receiving the jokes.
Yeah, I mean, this is what Twitter is, right? Twitter exists in a lot of different capacities, and NBA Twitter and Black Twitter happen to coexist. So then there's a lot of young people, especially, and not just young people, but there's a lot of people from NBA Twitter that kind of pull from that. So
then my next question is, would a Sundown Town be one you want to go to or avoid?
No, you want to avoid.
Well, specifically Sundown.
Indianapolis?
Right. Yeah, I don't know if this was actually one. I think they're just calling out how many white people are in Indiana too. So historically, that's you might just want to double check that. But that is true about Sundown Towns. I don't know if Indianapolis specifically was one.
Now we learned something today.
Yes, our government agent. Hey, the FBI. You're actually one of your former bosses directly responsible for that happening in our country. So the more you know. Oklahoma City.
That sounder ready to
and you can find plenty of those still in Texas too.
Yeah, the Oklahoma City, the other town that I don't doubt has plenty of that history. Plenty of other history the FBI is interested into and historically has been part of. But for basketball purposes, we have to admire this very talented young team that Sam Presti's put together. Complete superpower in the making, potentially.
Kill me.
It's tough, but I think at this point, even I've been a bit of a denier or at least a naysayer thus far. But I do think that at this point, we have to take them seriously because they're probably going to win this title. And it is interesting to see how much they'll be able to capture in the future, just even being around that conversation.
I'm going full on Hoosier on this one. Let's go Pacers.
I think part of me would still want to root for the Pacers because I think that's a small market team, quote unquote, that,
It's
I
a
think really would
historic
appreciate a revival the way Denver has felt like a rejuvenation of basketball for themselves with Nikola and that title. I think there's a lot of fun things about it. Carlisle being there, the Malice, him being the coach from the Malice, we talked about that already. There's plenty of like little things depending on who you are and where you come
I
from.
want to be able to make more Halliburton memes.
But at the same time, you have to realize Oklahoma City is definitely the Zoomer super team potentially, right? Like that's what they are. They are at the they're at the gate of that, right? Chet Hanks, Chet Holmgren, buddy. That's what I'm saying. This is a new world.
Shit.
the Chet.
Chet,
Taking over. Anyway.
Chet
Chet
taking
on
over.
me.
Yeah. So look, this series comes down to a couple of things for me as a preview because I'd rather talk about it in a little bit of a reactionary way. Defense and tenacity is the most surprising part of the Pacers. Okay, because I didn't think the Pacers could play defense in a serious way. Maybe the Knicks were limited, and that was what helped them look so good in the last series. But I really have been impressed with the fact that Indiana has been getting such a good run out of a lot of players I don't feel like are A-plus defenders, with the exception of a couple guys. Like they do have a couple guys that make it work. I think Miles Turner is a A-minus defender where he's incredibly good at what he can do, but he's a little limited because he's a big kind of flat-footed 7-footer, right? There's Pascal Siakam, I think, is A-plus, right? I think Pascal's guard every position, plays with 100% effort all the time. Like that's all you can ask for. Smart guy. So they've got the guys. Halliburton plays his ass off. He's a big guard. That should help a lot. At the same time, Oklahoma City can basically do all of that stuff, but more consistently. They're deeper in a lot of ways. Indianapolis has more experience. I do think that's true, but ultimately, like it's just obnoxious because you think about this really young team, and I do think they'll flake out. A couple guys will flake out of the rotation potentially, but then it's like Alex Caruso can just step in for one of these guys as a starter, and then they're just kind of running still really hot. So Kaysen Wallace and Alex Caruso, and that's credible how quickly that kid has gotten on to being an elite level role player, and who knows what his future is because like they've just been able to figure out how to develop really well with the guys they trust. At least they have low key they got some guys on the deep bench where it's like if they hadn't hit on some of these other ones, we'd be talking more about it, but luckily it doesn't matter. Do you guys have any questions about the finals going into it?
Honestly, at this point, I'm just more curious about what is Indiana's path to victory? Because I know what OKC's is, right? They have the depth, they have the superstar, right? They've gone through what might be considered a tougher conference. So now I look at Indiana, I'm like, all right, I saw how you got here, but now I don't know how you lift that trophy up.
They've got to be able to continue the pace, pun intended, with this group for sure. I mean, that's the best part about this Pacers team contending for a title is like they've actually lived up to the Pacers name more than maybe any Pacers team since the ABA version.
Yeah, I was about to ask because I've seen some stuff. I have zero ABA knowledge, but I've seen.
It was just a fast league, so you can guess
the
that almost
Pacers
every
being
team was playing
really
similar to
good.
that. Yeah.
But weren't they a good ABA team?
Yeah, the Pacers would have been, I think, the dynasty of that league, more or less, because they were the only team with multiple championships in the ABA, if I remember correctly, for how window it was actually a thing. Maybe there's another team that won another one, but I think they won 3 of them there. I think, if I remember off the top of my head, maybe it's just 2.
ABA champions.
But
Pittsburgh, Oakland, Indiana, Utah, Indiana. Yeah, they won 3.
3, yeah. Yeah, so that's what it was. They were the dynasty of ABA basketball.
To be fair, actually, the New York Nets technically won 2 because they won the last one after the teams left.
Oh yeah, no. And then they've got guys. One of the star players on that never even played in the NBA. And was basically the fulcrum of that whole team. So. Anyway, Indiana, obviously, historically is a part of this. You guys probably know the Hoosiers stuff, but really the history starts with Indiana being the first organized high school, more or less organized basketball tournament. You don't really need to get into who was what at that point. It's like in 1900 something, right? But that's what it was. They were the first basketball tournaments in America started. and mostly the world, I guess, at that point. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Oklahoma City gets a new arena soon as well, so it's like Sam Presti really getting this thing buzzing right at the good time for the ownership as well. They're gonna have to pay a lot of money to keep this thing together.
Boo.
I don't believe it, man. No, so KC's best. If they win, well, of course, if they win, that's their best team ever. But do you think it's their best collection of talent ever?
I mean, probably, because that's probably why they're going to win it if they do. I mean, it's like, it's like the other ones were top heavy for sure, but it's like shit. I mean, SGA's an MVP now. Chet's a second year player, realistically, getting his team into the NBA finals, right? Maybe winning a championship.
I will ask though: has any team ever had 3 future MVPs on it?
No, I don't. Well, maybe there's some
I know
Sixers
it's not the
teams
same Harden at that point. But
I think the Fofo Sixers would have had multiple MVPs. They would have had Dr. J. I think they would have had multiple guys at that point with MVPs. But yeah, we will talk more about the NBA Finals as they go. I think my predictions: Oklahoma City in 6. I think the Pacers don't have quite enough to deal with the young
Pacers
Bucks.
in 4.
Very bold. Very bold.
Give me the. I just want to root for the Pacers in this case. Just give me the Pacers in 7.
I think that's realistic. Also, to answer your question again, that's the path is 7 most likely. And Jalen Williams is the biggest factor in this. He may not be the MVP, but if he can play well offensively, Oklahoma City may cruise to this thing like some people are projecting. If he struggles the way that he struggled in other series, this is the best team they've faced to actually take advantage of that. And so that's where I think, okay, that's probably the player that swings it against Oklahoma City if it does. But he's, it hasn't been perfect, but he's mostly delivered because he doesn't do just one thing well, right? Like this is a very talented player who could be also a Hall of Famer by the end of his career, maybe MVP, I don't know, but very talented kid. So he'll make up for it defensively if it's bad offensively and stuff. And so players like that usually do the bare minimum to help their team win if they're the third guy, especially, right? So,
what are your thoughts on Halliburton taking a step towards the conference finals MVP trophy?
That's tough. That's
sort of like a newer award, right?
Yeah. Oh, yes, it is. Yes, it is. They did do that recently.
It's a weird
because it's named after Larry Bird and Magic Johnson, I think.
That makes sense.
So yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it was funny. I don't know why he would have thought that, but Pascal Siakam is definitely the best player on that team. I think that needs to be said, even though Tyrese is the most fun to watch. Pascal is most of the reason they're here right now. We should really be praising him in his career, and that's what I hope to do, even if they lose. I think Pascal Siakam is making his MVP, his Hall of Fame case this season. So just one of those little interesting things if you've been watching for a while. Also, Adam Silver went on ESPN today and said, you guys all cheered for the Pittsburgh Green Bay Super Bowl, so you better like this, bitch. And you know what? I kind of like that, Adam.
The other argument is it doesn't matter because it's not like they're up for a new TV contract right now. So
no, that's the best argument. That's why he said that. That's why he was sassy with the people. But we need to talk about the other thing that ESPN is causing us, and I'm talking about trauma, boys. They're taking away something that's for the people. Like Chuck. Chuck's for the people.
I'm gonna tell you something. If I could get Skip Bayless in a room, they need DNA to define who it was when I got through with it.
More games I want to take this time to have a little rant. Another one. This is 2 rants in one night. Billy Packer took a shot at us, and me and Ernie and Kenny discussed it. And Ernie wanted to always be the bigger man. Kenny wanted to be the bigger man. Me, not so much. Not so much.
Now you just sit at home in your grandma's basement with your drawers on, typing on your damn keyboard. Shut the hell up. We're pulling for Markelle Fultz. There was talk about you coming back for the playoffs last year. So you really just been working on your game, trying to get back your timing and conditioning, really, to be honest, correct? Yeah.
You think ESPN's going to let us have that? No.
We'll
That's
see.
going to get cut to commercial. The second they're going to have fun, boop, commercial.
What if Pat McAfee says it's okay?
No, Pat McAfee doesn't. He's allowed to do whatever he wants. That's a different thing.
Well, I think
that's a different podcast.
I think some people would say he also tells the network what to do in some other situations. So,
All right. Well, he better be inside. Better have him on regularly,
Oh, you
even
know
though he
they
doesn't
are.
know shit.
they might not get on the other shows, but he'll get on theirs.
I mean, look, we need to understand this is an incredible team we're talking about here. How could you take away broadcasting Shaq?
That's the one thing you got to worry about, man. Them young boys coming.
They are down 3-2, but they send the series back to Los Angeles for Game 6 on Friday. That'll be
Yes, if you're ever in Vegas, check it out. Big Chicken America.
I don't know if I smash anything. You know what I smash?
What's that?
Tricks.
Oh wow. Those nasty cereal?
I once ate an entire box of Tricks after a show.
Oh my gosh.
Utah has 99 problems, but a bitch ain't one. Roll the tape. Kenny, what's my favorite word? Bitch! You cannot leave this guy open, Ernie. Listen, every bitch I've played against or played with, they have incredible range. Incredible form. Petrovic. They all can shoot. Ernie, crazy thing, Ernie, is I've been to that country, I didn't see no outside basketball court, but everybody has a bitch in their last name to play the game.
And their male offspring can really shoot it too, those sons of bitches.
All right, so we're trying to still keep on time. So I want people to go out there. We have Kenny doing the Kobe commercial where he got hit by a car.
We still got plenty of time. What are you talking about?
You want me to go through all of them?
I mean, you play whatever you want.
We're going into extras then, because I mean
We're only at 20 minutes.
2 words for you: Steve Nash and Chris Paul. Must see TV.
That's more than 2 words.
You didn't say 2 words. You said quick to the point.
You just said I got 2 words. Steve Nash and Chris Paul must see.
See, that's why I messed
TV.
up, because I was trying to think of 2 words. I could have said that.
That could be
Okay.
2 words.
Nash and Paul.
That's 3 words.
That's 3 words.
Speaking of common, I want to time out. Whoa! Pause! Ladies and gentlemen, I will call it myself.
Chuckster, we're live.
What are you talking about?
Not like we can stop and.
It was a nice little trick.
Before we go, Tim Kiley, our producer, the absolute best in the business. So thanks to TK. And,
Hey, this is Charles Barkley. I hope you're enjoying the NBA playoffs on TNT. And I hope you have enjoyed my T-Mobile Fave 5 list. I'm a dumbass.
I'm
you don't think he can call an ESPN producer a pussy on air?
No, I don't think he'll be able to get away with that one.
No, I think that's fair. I do think we'll still get some zingers. We'll still get plenty of zingers.
So these guys are young. If they continue to do everything right, they will be back. But when Michael Jordan told me that quote, "Before you succeed, you must first learn." He didn't tell you he wanted to be in Kazam too. You get offended by being called the wrong name.
I do.
You do?
Yeah.
Who do they mistake you for?
I went to a
Shrek?
I went to
That was really good. That was really good.
Hey, everybody get here. You only got like 3 weeks before the wall goes up.
welcome to my world.
It's y'all. Wait, Mark, it's not my fault. I didn't vote for him. Me and Ernie didn't vote for him. Kenny and Shaq did. They didn't care about anything but their taxes.
What you got for us, Mark?
Thing is, put a hand up. Put a hand up. Because to me, he has. Akeem Olajuwon used to say this to me all the time.
Can he bring me some water?
No, he used to say.
Can you bring me some water? That might be the most longest line. It's just hard to believe that we're going to get that level of talk with the guys, because it's like, have you watched ESPN's broadcast? You don't get any time. It's just cut to commercial. 30 seconds, cut to commercial.
Yeah.
30 seconds, 30
Yeah, they don't do post-game shows. No, they don't do good.
No,
post-game
and
shows.
this is why I'm skeptical, because I think the guys kind of suck pregame. I think they definitely suck halftime. I think that's the biggest criticism of Inside. But they're amazing after the game. That's what they're the best at. They react. That's what kids love. That's what YouTubers are. That's what people want. That's what this is.
There's hope. There's hope ESPN gives them maybe not the full leash, but more than they do their other haircuts.
I think people just are skeptical because Pat McAfee represents football. Shannon Sharp represents football. And maybe who knows what the Shannon Sharp thing is even going to be. ESPN has never in our lifetime prioritized any other sport the way it's prioritized the NFL. Because they know they are always in a financial bind and that the NFL is the most loyal shit in the world. They know people are going to suck that teat dry all day, every day. Okay? And I think there are a lot of skepticism that they're going to give the NBA this much leash, even if their potential upside is tremendous. It's why, a lot of people rooted for NBC. We all did. Like, everyone would have wanted to keep TNT and fucking NBC Peacock if we could have, but we're stuck with ESPN. We thought we killed it off, but the zone sucks.
Mickey Mouse has a lot of money.
That's really the thing, right?
My biggest concern is if I see Stephen A. Smith on that fucking post-game show.
Oh, he will be. Stephen worked. I think Stephen A. was able to do stuff with TNT at one point way back when, but I might be wrong. We need to talk about Kenny. I think Kenny's somebody who goes underrated. At times I've said, even the last few years, I don't know if I really need Kenny Smith there anymore, but we have to remember that someone always has to be the butt of the joke, right?
MD, what's up? I told you I'm gonna do what Kobe did. Yeah, I'm telling you I'm ready. Okay. Watch. I got my new sneakers. Hold this for me. Got it. Okay. I got my new Aim High Hyper Dunk. Nike made their own shoe for me. Hold on, that's the wrong foot.
Put the shoe on the wrong foot, y'all.
Kenny Smith, boy.
Smooth, very smooth.
Everyone talks about the little dog picture. They always put up that little puppy that's like standing up and it's got like the little small ass and like heavy top part. Like they put it up on every episode, basically. It's like a little terrier and they say it looks like Kitty. That's always been the classic one. But that is really one that I always think is the funniest. Is that I think that one was when Reggie Miller had gotten his retired. And
Sorry, so looked at the dog.
The dog, yeah. It's funny. Shaq loves it. Every time you take Shaq out right away when you put that up. But yeah, so that clip, it cracks me up more. I think Magic is still on the show. This is before Shaq. You got Magic on it. And they were going through and they were like, Reggie just did his. They were like, Chuck had his. Magic had his. And then they're like, Kenny Smith, not somebody. Kenny's like, the whole time they're previewing, Kenny's just like, fuck you guys. I know what the fuck. I know where this is fucking going. I know where this is fucking going. And then the clothesline. And I didn't keep it on there long enough. He ends up taking it. As you could tell, that jersey looked like shit.
Yeah, he pulled it down.
It's a Tracy McGrady jersey. They just taped all up to make it look like a Kenny Smith jersey.
They didn't even buy a Kenny Smith jersey.
Well, you would have had to make one at that point. Like, there's nobody, just Kenny Smith Rocket jerseys. Yeah, so everybody loves Kenny. Gotta love that. The decision was tough on the world. It divided the sports world. LeBron really pissed a lot of people off, but I think inside healed a lot of us.
This morning, I woke up. I had a great conversation with my mom, and once I had that conversation with her, I think I was set.
So, is it safe to say you are going to come home? You're going to join Kenny and Charles and Shaq in the Hairless Club?
That was the conclusion I woke up with this morning.
All right, King, the next move is yours.
Yo, I have no part of it. I'm not even on this. Yo, I'm not even on the set, man. I'm not even on the set with this, man. I'm not down with this. Come on, man. Y'all took it too far, man. LeBron, it wasn't me, LeBron. It was him. Hey, Ernie, put your hand up. It was him, LeBron. Hey, Shaq. Hey, it wasn't me. And then this is too far. Y'all took it too far, man. It wasn't me.
Jay-Z's black SUVs will come for you, and all three of those men knew that, or four of them. Kenny, actually, that one actually is crazy because Kenny really actually didn't feel comfortable. I think Kenny was a little afraid that LeBron
I mean, he was grabbing at his mic thing. He wasn't just like being over there. And I don't think he's that much of a comedy genius to know that looks real.
I love LeBron, but I do think that was a good jab at it. And unfortunately, I think Kenny might have jabbed him harder on accident than even that hair decision joke. Lakers, what?
How?
Well, just because like that, like how reactionary I think that was just sort of the moment of you don't dare knock the king kind of thing. And there was some of that with LeBron at that point, right? Especially after he made the decision. He was fuck everybody LeBron. He was like, I do whatever I want. I'm the whole league LeBron. So, you know, it was just a funny time. And then I think the internet had finally started like really being a thing. And then people were making a lot of jokes about the black SUVs, which we've always had those jokes. Now they're like canon to NBA Twitter. Jay-Z and Rock Nation / Clutch Sports' deal. So that one has to kill me. But then, to transition to LeBron's new team, the Lakers, they weren't always so good. In fact, LeBron had to save the day for them, give them back to relevancy, got him a title, eventually got him Luka, yada, yada. But lest we forget.
Just $6.99. Watch the LA Lakers take on the Milwaukee Bucks tomorrow night on your computer, tablet, phone, I dare you, or connected device.
The Lakers again?
Hey,
listen, the football, that should be more like $1.99.
Really?
$6.99?
No, it's not for the one game.
Come on,
it's
man.
For the
Y'all
time.
ripping people off.
It's for the whole pass.
Come
not
on,
for
man.
that game.
Come on.
You're not paying
That's $1.99 for that game, America.
No.
If y'all pay $6.99 for that, y'all get bamboozled.
No, it's for the whole season. For the whole season. It's not for just
Let us stray.
I can think of a lot of
Come on,
things I can
man.
do for $6.99.
$6.99.
Don't include the Lakers or the Bucks.
No, it's for the whole season. It's not for one
America,
game.
please don't pay $6 for that one. Come on, man.
You know what? Save your money, America.
That should be at the dollar store.
Yeah.
Come on, man. The Bucks.
Shaq also has plenty of tips on saving money you can find online. I didn't clip those, but please, for the love of God, type in Shaq Math on YouTube and enjoy.
Look. Fractions are not the easiest thing in the world.
I do have to ask you a question, Patrick.
Yes,
how do
yes,
you
sir.
feel personally about Charles Barkley?
I mean, I'm mostly indifferent. I know what you're about to do here.
It's the easiest segue. So I think we just have to remind people that Charles Barkley. Now, there's a lot of funny Barkley clips that I could have used here, including some ones where he said some misogynistic things, and then inside the NBA, instead of having him canceled, decided to bring it up in front and have his daughter on video roast him for it, which was great. I think that was probably the best handling of that you could have found. But no, I think San Antonio and their lifelong feud can be summarized with this clip. This is not the original. This is actually the follow-up to when they tried to prove that there were beautiful women in San Antonio.
It's a great city. I think they got the best organization in the NBA, but they do have some big old women down there. I mean, come on now.
See what you do to him every time you go down.
I'm telling you, man. They be woofing them churros.
None of those. Hey, but none of those five ladies were big that he interviewed.
That's why it took her all day. Come on.
Can I see
It took her all day.
It took me a wrong way to get
It
there.
took her all day to find five skinny women down there.
Do me one more favor. Just let me see the churro eating again one time.
Like my man, like Joey, like Joey, you know how my man be eating hot dog, Joey Chestnut? That's why them big old women be eating those churros.
Double fist.
No, they be double fist no churros, man.
Sugar, do it.
So you think ESPN execs are going to be happy with the do it agains, the Ernie, even the Ernie, when Ernie does it, that that's where I feel like ESPN's not going to let Ernie have fun.
We'll see. I want it to still kind of work,
I think that they're going to think that Ernie
I'm
rings.
choosing to be optimistic.
Like they're going to be. I think they're going to try to make Ernie an asshole in a way that Ernie's never meant to be an asshole. You know what I mean? That's where I worry. Where they're going to be like, they're not going to give Ernie the time to really like play with the guys and like, because Ernie knows when to like direct them back on course or just fucking to leave the topic and let them roll. And that's the hard part. So I wonder if the micromanaging of his job affects them. Yeah, I mean, that's a big part of it. You know, ESPN, you know, I guess we also have to play the important clip here, right? Like, is there an ESPN exec left for whenever he said this?
Why wouldn't you go to ESPN?
That gonna work me like a dog in my
I'm just saying.
The things that happen on this show.
ESPN 1, 2, 3,
You know what?
ESPN News, ESPN U, ESPN Radio, and then come up with that little puny trick.
Nothing.
You wake up.
ESPN deported.
I'm telling you.
Nothing good happens after 1:15 in the morning.
ESPN deported. They have me on ESPN deported. Say, muy bien, gracias.
And that's what I mean. You know, what are we getting? Are we getting freedom?
Not usually.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, those are big things. But I guess what I worry the most about is the two most popular clips we're about to show you. And would these, like, it feels like we're not going to get to do jokes on these anymore. These topics feel like ESPN definitely doesn't let them go off. So this first one, I think most people would call number one, but I don't think it's the one I would give as the most popular one. I'll give you this one first. This is with the Clippers and the Rockets. Notoriously had the underground tunnel, and Chris Paul had just gotten traded, and there was a brouhaha.
They have each other's back. He said this team is very together, and they're always going to respond that way. And his other response, the way he closed it, was interesting. He said, we're going to see this team 2 more times. We will remember this. So this feeling, this tension between the two teams will continue on across games.
Roz Gold on Woody, thank you very much.
They're not laughing at you.
No,
They're laughing at the incident.
the whole incident.
They don't believe these two guys.
Charles laughing.
I know why you're laughing.
Hey, I played in the NBA for 16 years, and I've been on TV for 18 years. It's the first time I ever heard police presence. They got, wait. Come on, man.
Numerous social media reports that LAPD was called.
LAPD was called.
See these two, man.
Come on, man.
You know why they're laughing.
Come on, man.
Because they
So I don't know if we're talking about the cops and the police presence, especially in light of John Morant, who might have actually ruined that no matter what the cable things go.
It depends. I mean, it just depends. Obviously, between those two teams, it was silly nonsense, you know?
Yeah, no, well, and we don't know. I don't think we ever got full answer on the laser pointer gate thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just saying the Clippers Rockets thing, like,
yeah,
you can laugh at that because it was obviously, you should laugh at that.
Yeah, no, there was a secret tunnel, and we got like pictures and stuff. There, it was crazy.
Hello,
there was a lot
911.
There was a
Chris Paul's trying to get me.
There is, yeah, that whole bit is much longer, by the way. If you haven't seen the real bit, please, for the love of God, go TNT inside the NBA. Police presence should be all you need.
Yeah, I think that is the absolute pinnacle peak of what they did. But
and I'm glad you say that, because this is the one I would probably think is consensus number one overall.
One over there that's still living that you would say has no chance of happening.
Two black guys beating a black guy up.
And having a black guy.
Sorry, speak it out loud.
That's not on here, man. The Clippers will not make the playoffs. And
What kind of hats they had on, Chuck?
Magas hat.
all right, I think that's probably it.
Okay.
The Lakers will not make the playoffs. The Kings will is the latest edition. Go ahead, Kenny. I can't believe you, Chuck.
You pay him with cash.
Chuckster.
You pay him with cash or you write him a check, Chuck. Never break. Hey, listen, America.
Chuckster. How?
America. Let me just tell you something.
What's that?
Do not commit crimes with checks. Come on, man. You cannot. If you're going to break the law, do not write a check.
If you don't remember, that was from the Jesse Smollett situation from, I don't even remember how long.
in Chicago.
Yeah.
And that was like 5 years ago?
That was a long time ago. I think 18, 19 sounds about right. Of course, the nation was sort of, arguing its ass off in a lot of ways, and of course, that story went a lot of ways. But and the best part of that clip is where you can hear the people in the background screaming at Charles to please stop. You have Ernie actually begging, but it doesn't work. They're just going to keep going.
2019. Yeah.
2018.
There you go. So there you go. I think that's a good one. You still think the other police presence is the best? You think that one's better, or at least better than this one?
The funniest thing they've done.
I think that's fair. I'm going to finish us off, though, here with one that I think is the best one that has ever been done, but it is a vault. It is one that you have to be grimy to know, because I only found it through rediscovery. Maybe I watched it live. I don't remember where I was in 2011. This is 2011 to set the stage. It's the All-Star Weekend. TNT inside the NBA is taking not only the guys, but also the guys who call the game. So Reggie and at this point, Kevin McHale, who will definitely be a part of this clip. And they're going to do an all historical draft. Remember, this is 2011. So LeBron hasn't even won his first title yet. Dirk hasn't even won the title yet that year, right? This is where we are in the moment of time. This is the first two picks in that draft.
All-Star Fantasy Draft. First two rounds are about to commence. The first pick belongs to the Chuckster, representing the rebounders. Charles, who's the first pick? Let me guess.
Allen Iverson.
Wow. Are you serious?
Yep.
Is Michael Jordan not on your list?
He's on my list, but I look at the All-Star game. It's a point guard dominated game. Has the ball most of the time. I picked Allen Iverson.
This is not an All-Star game.
Not an All-Star game. This is your greatest team you can assemble.
Well, it's too late now.
Yeah.
Too late.
Now, second pick belongs to the big green machine, Kevin McHale.
Yeah, well, sorry, Chuck. Now you screwed up my plan. What am I going to do?
Here's an
I
adjustment.
quit. Well, the big green machine is not getting off the guy he was going for. No, they got 13 more seconds. Larry Bird, my teammate, 3-time world champion, 12-time All-Star.
Wow.
Makes everybody better. Could dominate the game by taking 10 shots. He'd have 17 points, 12
All
rebounds,
right.
13
That shit kills me every time, because yes, Chuck is a fucking idiot, but only is it funnier because Kevin McHale, dead serious, makes a joke about Chuck being a fucking idiot, only to pick Larry Bird with the second pick of the draft because Celtics homerism.
Great.
Yeah. That's a deep one. That's a deep cut. My dumbass just happened to be, YouTube searching away.
Respond to that clip in 1 second.
Wait, you're actually going to have to respond to this because it's time for the Riff Raff game show in the first quarter. All right. This one's going to be real easy, okay? It's only 2 lines.
I'm going to pause you before I forget this. Is the joke there that Michael Jordan was drafted 3rd in his actual draft?
I don't know that they were ever intentional about that. And if you want to believe that Chuck is always in on the bit, that's fine. But in my opinion, Chuck just didn't know what the fuck he was talking about.
And he actually threw Kevin McHale off.
And Kevin McHale is just a fucking idiot homer. And that is literally just how Reggie Miller, who got 3rd in the draft in that, picked Michael Jordan.
Okay.
And it's a funnier clip if you continue to, because Reggie completely just obliterates them the whole time he's picking Michael Jordan. Kenny's pissed off. Like, it actually gets much funnier, too, after that.
Are you ready, Patrick?
I will go back to watch that. Yes.
All right, this is from Wetter Than Tsunami. I'm going to go from the end of the hook to the start of the first verse. All right? Step inside the club, and I'm smelling like Miami. I saw my hands, should have won a damn Grammy. I can shoot a beat. Oh, no, wait. I made a lane made of gold. I can shoot a BB through a
glory hole.
Pee-pee hole.
Frosted Cheerio.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's better than what we said.
Is it?
I think contextually it is.
You failed the first round, Patrick.
All right. That wraps us up.
You should have known. You've listened to this album.
Yeah, but the lyrics. I listen for the lyrics only. You're right. That's exactly why.
That's right. Listen to the deep shit he has to say. All right. I'm good.
Good luck to both basketball teams as they continue to play basketball.
Go Pacers.
Go basketballs.
Go. I don't really give a fuck. if I'm being honest. Go off
Shout
season.
out-
Adam's plan.